Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode of BiblioTech on Air. I'm Rosanna.
I'm Ruby.
I'm Miranda.
And today we are going to be talking about The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, his adaptation of the classic The Odyssey by Homer, which is available in many different forms. So you have options to pick on both cloudLibrary and Hoopla. Get your library card with BiblioTech if you haven't done so already. But with that, seeing as it's a 3-hour film, this is going to be a 3-hour podcast. No, I'm kidding.
So get ready, lock in.
Pick your favorite book, sit down with us, and get... Anyway, let's get right into it. So, going into The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan, I do want to start with you, Miranda. This is your first Christopher Nolan film. So, obviously, he is highly talked about, highly revered in the directing community. What were your expectations going in as far as like, okay, this is a film by him. This is like high stakes, all of that.
He's the Zeus of the movie world.
Well,
Zeus's Law.
well, not to put my own self on blast, y'all. I didn't know who he was going into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew everyone said, oh, it's a Christopher Nolan. That didn't mean anything to me because I didn't look him up, so I didn't know what movies were associated with him until after. And then I was like, oh, okay. Like, I recognized all of the titles under him. Well, most of them, like Interstellar, Inception. I never saw Oppenheimer, but so I was like, oh, like he's made some really big movies, and I realized what a great mistake I've made because as soon as I was like, oh yeah, like I've never seen any of these, I got the looks, and I was like, okay, I'll get on that.
It's fine because I haven't seen like half his movies. I've seen the Batman trilogy, Inception, and then this one. So
yeah. So, but yeah, I guess that also helped because I didn't have any expectations. So I didn't go in thinking like it has to be good because it's a Christopher Nolan film. I just went in like, am I going to like this or not? So I think, and I enjoyed it. I did, guys. And I do plan on watching more, but a lot of them are not available on like the millions of streaming applications I have right now. So I'm trying to work my way through what I can.
You have to get the Christopher Nolan streaming service.
They need to create one, guys, because I was in the middle of watching one of his movies. I went back to finish it, and it was no
gone?
longer. It was no longer on the platform.
Oh my goodness!
This was in this week. I was watching it. We took a break. Didn't watch it the next day. Tried to finish it. I couldn't find it, and it turns out you now have to pay for it.
Wow.
It was Christopher Nolan. He was like, oh, you haven't seen any of my movies? Wait for her to come back.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, I mean, The Odyssey is kind of like the movie of the summer. And it's funny you mentioned Oppenheimer because a few years ago, Oppenheimer / Barbenheimer.
And now we're doing Tom Daya.
Oh, Tom
Daya, you know, the wedding of the summer that we know nothing about. The Odyssey, the movie of the summer. What's next? But so getting into The Odyssey, had you guys ever read the original or, you know, studied it in school or whatnot?
I remember reading it in school because after reading it, we watched, I thought it was a movie, but when I was trying to look it up, I think it was like a mini series, the 1997.
Yes.
I remember watching that in school vividly. Like it just blew my mind so much, like the Cyclops and him coming back home and doing the bow and arrow. Like it was all, it matched it up like exactly the way that I remember it from that 1997 one. So I'm glad now we have this 2026 one.
It's funny you bring that one up because I remember we studied it in school too, and we watched it. Like our teacher was like, "Okay, we're going over this. Watch it."
Yeah,
I thought it was Kevin Costner the whole time. Turns out it is not even. I think an American actor.
Not even a descendant of.
Nope. I was just like, when I was looking it up again, I was like, why can't I find the Kevin Costner version? No, it was just The Odyssey. Yeah, like I
thought it was a lot more recent. I thought it was a movie, but it just shows like that left a lasting impression. So now I'm happy that this came out because I feel like this movie's going to leave a lasting impression.
Oh, absolutely.
For generations
I mean,
come.
people are still seeing it. People are still like, you know, selling out the IMAX viewings. They're going ham over this. That's 80 pounds of film right there for the IMAX version.
And whoever gets to watch this in school now, they're so lucky.
Appreciate it. Don't be like, oh, we got to watch this. No, it's going to be a good dang movie. Okay. So, and I would say it's like appropriate enough for school, even though it's rated R, you know, because of the bloody scenes. Like it's still fairly appropriate. So
I saw a lot of kids. I was surprised. I was like, oh, but while I was watching it, I was like, oh, I'm glad they're watching this.
Yeah. You know, it's educational.
Yeah.
It's weird to say that about a Christopher Nolan film, but
learn about your gods, children.
Exactly. Zeus's Law. Which, speaking of which, let's get into the movie stuff. So, obviously, Zeus's Law plays a gigantic part in this film. It's kind of like in Pirates of the Caribbean when they're like, parlay, parlay, parlay. in this film, it's like Zeus's law, Zeus's law, Zeus's law. You don't know who's going to be disguised as an actual god. Zeus's law. And so they use that both to like their own advantage and like, you know, the corrupt people use it to their advantage as well. So I'm just like, y'all are name dropping this every other minute. At that point, I would just be like, I don't care. You can't come into my house. Are you Zeus right now? Please smite me. Don't. But you know,
it's just like their commandments. It's all wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
What else do they have to live for if it's not for Zeus?
Exactly. Yeah. But it's funny because like with the gods, they play a big role in this. We hear about Poseidon. We have Odysseus seeing visions about Athena. We have, you know, Zeus being mentioned every other moment. But the thing is, we never see them, you know, which is very interesting. And I think in at least my thought process was this is focusing much more on, you know, the faults of humanity and their over-reliance on the gods. Because again, we never see them. We hear the thunder. We see the ocean, you know, like tossing ships like nothing. And then we find out that, spoiler alert, of course, for a book that's like thousands of years old and also for a movie that just came out. But that the Athena that Odysseus has been seeing, it was kind of like a
Athena.
Yeah, it was a priestess that was made as a sacrifice in Troy. So I just thought that was really interesting. But would y'all wanted to see the gods in the movie, or like are you guys fine with how it kind of played out?
I'm fine with how it played out. Like
as
learning,
forces of
because at
nature.
first I was confused. I was like, why is like Athena the only one being like seen and talked about? But then like that twist in the end, I was like, oh man, that was so good. Now I know why she haunts him and why everything's playing out the way it is.
Yeah, I agree. I like seeing it through what they control because it shows you how much power they truly have. Because I feel like if we just saw them as like actual figures, it wouldn't seem as like crazy. But they're literally these people they think about in the sky watching over them and showing everything is connected to them, whether you're in the water, whether you're just on land, how they control the wind so like they can wait and time it to when they can control the water correctly. I thought that was really interesting, and I feel like they used it really cool, like the visual effects of what they're doing to them.
Yeah, like just Zeus.
Yeah.
And then like, oh bro, you pissed off Poseidon, and then sure enough the ocean's just throwing a tantrum.
Son.
Yeah.
He stabbed his son in the eye. That was not warranted for.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna get into that very quick in just a bit, but I do like how while we didn't see the gods, we did see some of these creatures. You know, we saw the Cyclops. We saw the sirens. We even saw those Scylla, which was interesting because I thought like, you know, we were just gonna like kind of have maybe men disappear off the boat and that's it. No, we actually see kind of the
arms,
tentacles. And, which is I thought was great because it's like, okay, so we're still not seeing the gods, we're seeing all these people, but we're seeing like the monsters too, which is interesting. We see Charybdis too, Charybdis in the form, of course, the whirlpool. But I don't know, I just thought I'd really like that take that we're still not seeing the gods. People aren't worthy to see the gods, but you know, they see the monsters and of course the absolute crimes and terrors of everything they've done.
Agreed.
I really liked I liked how it made me want to empathize with the Cyclops. Like usually, I mean, you hear the Cyclops being just like kind of not terrible, but like he's eating their people. So it's like you empathize with him in a way, like in this movie, because it's like why did Odysseus stab him? He was just trying to make his cheese with his sheep, like live his own lonely life.
Exactly. Like, you know, y'all just kind of, and that's the recurring theme of this film, or recurring pattern, excuse me, not theme, but y'all are busting in these people's homes, expecting hospitality, expecting to be able to make off with all the supplies, and not wanting to face the consequences.
Exactly.
And after a while, you see Odysseus kind of reflect and be like, oh, okay, you know, we need to kind of pump the brakes on that a bit. But his men at this point, they're just, you know, they've kind of deluded themselves in a way to like, well, we're just trying to go home. We deserve everything and anything on the way back home. And we see that with...
They're pigs.
With Cersei, which is an incredible scene.
It's so good. Yes, very, very good.
So good. Just the physical it does well, first of all, with the portrayal of Cersei, because Cersei, she's seen, and going back to, if y'all haven't seen the Cersei podcast episode that we recorded, definitely go back and see that. We read it a while back. Great book. Fun episode. Anyway. But, you know, we see We see her physically transforming them. And it was such a cool process. Like, I really, really like, that's probably one of the standout scenes for me.
Oh, yeah,
Very,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene definitely stood out to me. I had to look away at some points, especially when she put her hand like all the way down. Oh my gosh, his throat. But yeah, I really liked that scene because then afterwards I liked looking into like how it came to be because obviously Christopher Nolan is known for not really using CGI. So to know that those were like handmade animatronic, like there was like a whole team dedicated to making that scene happen. And they interviewed some of the cast that was there when it was happening, like being filmed. And when they watched it back, they truly couldn't explain how it went from what they saw being filmed into the scene, knowing that there was really no like behind the scenes editing. Like it was all done by hand, animatronics. They were created to where they could be molded. So they were actually like, she was actually using her hands to change the shape of what they were using.
Oh, that's so
and I was
cool.
like, just learning that, I'm like, that makes it 10 times cooler that like, it wasn't just like, here's a bad shape of a pig face and then we're just going to record that and like go in and edit it. Like they had a full team that's like designed to just work on that, which I was like, that's so cool.
Damn it, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That
That's
makes me
magic.
like that scene even more now.
That's why I was like, how did they do this? Because I didn't really know about his whole like not really using CGI that much. So when I was like looking at these certain scenes, I was like, there's just no way, you know, like how do you have this huge cyclops but you're doing close-up scenes of it and it's like looks so lively, like those different parts, especially once I saw the pig scene and I knew like CGI, like what the heck. So that one I was really excited to look into because I was like, how did they do that? But yeah, it was animatronics and like a lot of work basically to get it to look like that.
That's so cool. Were there any other scenes that stood out to you in this movie? Because that was an incredible scene and this movie's just full of them.
I would say definitely the cyclops, that like knowing that it's just a huge
puppet.
Like puppet, and then the close-up scenes were an actual person just made to look really large. The other scenes that were just like mined, like there was no editing, it was the scene where they're dressed in all of the silver armor, just knowing that those are just really, really tall guys.
Yeah. And they just
really,
like
really
the perception, they really played a lot around with perception.
The perception is so cool because like I knew going into it, because I had seen that before, that it was just a really tall people and really short people. And mind you, the short people were not that short. They were like my height. Like they were like 5 feet. But they made them look micro next to these just tall men. I don't know. That was really cool to me. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Dang, this was definitely the Nolan film to blow your mind, huh?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, it was. They did so well. I mean, and I completely ignored the fact that he doesn't really like to use CGI. So now that we're talking about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is even more appreciative.
Yeah, there's another one. So after this, I watched a lot of like interviews, and Tom Holland did an interview where he explained, he was sitting with the other cast members, but he was talking about one of the scenes that really got him, is that he wasn't a part of, but that he stood off with the crowd or like the crew, was the scene where they enter Troy. And that even Matt Damon said that he didn't know when they got the doors open that the people were actually going to enter. And that it was like almost 1,000 extras that came in all at once. And that how they controlled the fire and stuff was like it would go aflame, and Tom Holland was like, and then they would call cut and the flames would just disappear. And I was like, that's so cool, because there's like whole teams dedicated to just like fire and making it blow up, and then they would just call cut and everything would just go back to normal.
That's amazing.
And I was like, what? But yeah, there's a picture, if you look it up, that shows the crew right in front of them is the scene being filmed, and that there's actually crew hidden around the scenes making sure things go as they're supposed to, but that it's all it's all filmed. I don't know, it's really, you have to look into, there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that's out now that I was like, that's crazy. And the fact that they had an actual, like, they didn't edit it, like that's 1,000 people storming this set that's actually filmed on an actual like island.
Yeah, that's like a live reaction to that.
That's crazy. Like, and his reaction was real. Like, he was like, oh my God, like they're actually coming in the doors as we open them. They didn't know they were going to do that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But
oh man, I love that you did your homework on this. Like, I'm freaking learning while we're recording the episode. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Which
really cool.
That was another very, very good, like, dramatic scene where they storm Troy. Agamemnon. Oh my God.
Farming.
What are y'all's thoughts on this guy?
Oh, dude, his armor, I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. Like, I loved the way they made it.
Horrible dude, but his outfit.
Yeah, it genuinely took me a second to make the connection of like who was walking in the scene where they showed him sacrificing his own family. Hello, I was like, oh. But yeah, I really enjoyed that they showed more of his story, like why he was seen as such a villain by his like wife and like the people in his town. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. But when he walked in, I was like, I want to feel that cool.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
That's great. Like, especially because everyone was storming and he's just like,
just chill, just
walking in, like, hey, I'm about to kill all of y'all, like, but I'm not gonna actually lift a finger.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, but he was evil. He was crazy.
Especially like in Hades, the way he looked.
that was another super cool scene.
I loved. There were so many scenes where like you couldn't see his eyes.
Yeah.
His eyes are just like black.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, he's just such a character. Like,
Yeah.
no wonder these people are kneeling to him
Yeah.
constantly, especially like his dead body. Like
Yeah.
when they're in Hades and they're all kneeling to him.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus, it gives me chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did his character very well.
Yeah, that scene. I was trying to think there was another one. Had y'all seen how they filmed that one?
The Hades scene?
Yeah.
No.
They buried those people in actual sand.
Oh,
yeah, yeah, I remember
That
seeing
was
that.
really crazy because again, the whole CGI, like the whole time I was like looking for things that I'm like, how did they do that? And that scene, I was like, in my brain, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, if they didn't edit this, they actually had to bury people, thousands of people just in sand. And they did. And they had like a timer so that they weren't buried obviously for too long. And they were talking about how it was like a whole careful thing because you can't obviously put too much sand on somewhere else. They can't get out, especially with how they were dressed. And I was like, so there's like in this huge sand thing and there's just people everywhere, but there's just a area where they can't step because there's just people, basically.
Yeah.
And they have to actually rise. And I was like, y'all are crazy.
Y'all are crazy.
Y'all are crazy. But yeah, I was like, I would not be buried, guys. Don't ever volunteer me for something like that. I would
I
freak
don't know.
out.
I mean, if they're like, hey, do you want to be an extra in a Christopher Nolan film for the Odyssey and bonus, you get buried in sand, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, hell yeah. I'll take that opportunity.
Yeah.
But that was such another good scene.
Yeah,
And
that seems really cool.
the whole thing with Agamemnon, like we see him in his armor the entire time. We see him as this big, intimidating, just, figure commanding legions of troops and stuff.
Yeah.
But then when we see him get back home, they kind of coddle him, like, they take his helmet off for
Yeah.
him, they bathe him. And then finally, when he's received by his wife, we see him without his armor and he's just kind of like this regular old dude. He's not muscular. He's not like powerful. He's just there.
Yeah.
And honestly, work queen, because like you deserve to kill him. She was just like, welcome home.
Yes.
No, yeah. Her scream caught me so off guard.
Again,
like obviously I saw it
the
coming, but when
acting.
she screamed, I was like, I need to cover my ears. I saw it in IMAX, so it was extra, extra, extra loud, especially the Cyclops scene.
Oh yeah.
The
I heard
Cyclops
that.
scene
Oh
was
my
so
goodness.
loud.
That was intense.
It was so loud. I was like, and so was the girl next to me. We were both like, it was so loud. But her scream really caught me off guard. But I feel like that was good because that's like genuinely how she felt. I mean,
10 years.
yeah,
10 years.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I love it. Women deserve to hold grudges.
They
deserve
do.
to hold grudges.
They're just being stolen left and right.
It's
Yeah.
always the purpose of these stories is always because men want to own something, want to claim something. It's always that. It's like half of this could have been avoided if y'all just left Helen the hell alone. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. I mean, granted, his excuse, of course, was like, oh, well, we want to disrupt the trade routes for Troy and stuff. Yeah, cool. But also, you're just trying to help your brother and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
But that was annoying. But the scene was good. The death scene.
Yeah,
And then,
the death scene was crazy.
I mean, this story focuses so much on the men, but the women they were the stars. I mean,
Yeah.
They were.
Penelope, Anne Hathaway better
Yeah.
get that damn award. Like, she acted her butt off. She acted her butt off. She was so
Yeah.
good.
Anne Hathaway, Zendaya. Even forgive me, Charlize Theron. She foreign, but
They were exaggerating. Like, people were saying, like, with her tortilla blanket, which, I mean, that's fair.
But I did think that when I saw it, I was like, that's an interesting choice.
an interesting choice. She's wearing sand. She just made it up into a wrap and threw
Is
it on
that
her.
really?
No, I don't know. I'm
Well,
just saying.
if now I'm thinking from that perspective, if that that makes me feel better. But it really did. I was like, I have that blanket at home.
Literally, you can buy it at HEB for $20.
I think at one of our
There's
Christmas
going to
parties.
be so many calypsos this Halloween.
Work. But like her face, it's like people are exaggerating. It's like, it's not that bad. Like y'all are
Yeah.
just looking for anything to analyze.
Yeah.
The tortilla blanket, okay, sure. But between her and then of course, I'm so sorry, I don't know the actress who played Cersei, but she killed
Oh yeah,
it as
she
Cersei.
did. Yeah, she did.
Cersei is Samantha Morton.
Samantha Morton, you killed it, Queen. You were
Yeah.
an absolute wonderful
She
Cersei.
terrified me. She was like really on her big one with that.
She hit that line so well between like, is she a threat to us or
Yeah.
are we the threat? Because
No,
that's what,
exactly. Exactly.
And, knowing Cersei's story, it's like, she's both things.
Yeah.
Don't storm into her house.
But also, if y'all are this big bad group of men, y'all didn't
The people
notice
of the
all
sea.
like y'all didn't notice the back to that one. Y'all didn't notice all the armor laying out there. That didn't worry y'all. That
They're
there's armor that
hungry.
was never taken back. Okay. Back to that. I didn't put that together until the very end of the movie. They said it towards the end, and I looked at him around. And I was like, "They're the people of the sea."
Exactly.
And he was like, "Duh."
There are these hoodlums out here just causing trouble for everyone.
Yeah, and it created like a ripple
It was
effect of everyone.
the Kermit and the Spider-Man meme.
But yeah, that took me. Yeah, I felt silly not realizing they are the chaos.
That was, like, such a
Penelope
nice,
was like,
you know-
the people of the sea are gonna come. Son, you need to go. You need to figure this out. We need to figure this out. I'm not getting married though, but we're gonna figure this out. And I was like, oh my god, they're the people causing the chaos. Like she's scared of her own husband's torment.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful,
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Going to which the 3-hour time limit. Oh my God, that did not feel like 3
It
hours
did
at all.
not.
It
I'm
I'm
sailed
so
by.
glad. Like
Yeah.
it
Pun
was,
intended again. I'm so sorry.
it was done so wonderfully. I was
Yes.
nervous. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope I don't need to go to the restroom.
Exactly.
I hope I'm not gonna miss anything. But it literally went by and
yeah.
so beautifully.
Yeah.
I didn't even like I was rewatching Troy as well too. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know this movie was this long as well. And the fact that it came out so long ago, people were just okay with that.
Yeah, I was scared, especially because I saw it in IMAX. And if y'all have ever been to the River Center IMAX, there's no space for nothing, and you will never find your seat if you get up. So I was terrified, but I didn't have to get up, and it went by very quickly.
Yeah.
And like quickly, and like not like I keep looking at the time, and like I didn't look at the time once, and I was just kind of drawn in. And there's even moments where I was like, oh, if they kept going, I don't think I would have minded. Not that they needed to. It was fine. It was long. But, like if they decided to go longer, I don't think it would have made me feel any type of way because it was that good. And I feel like it touched on everything where it needed to. Like, if they had cut certain things, I feel like it would have taken away from the story. So that's why I was like, oh, yeah, you kind of needed all that.
Yeah.
Like there are some things that they changed. One of the big ones, in my opinion, was kind of like the nobody bit
Oh,
from the
yeah.
Cyclops. But I mean, it kind of worked. That extra arrow was not necessary.
Christopher Nolan just said it was
but-
too cheesy.
But come on, it's a part of the original story.
Yeah.
But the reason I think, and the editing of this film was
Yeah.
done so well. I think that helped like the 3 hours just go on by.
Yeah.
And the way it was set up too, where it was kind of like the scenes cutting in as Odysseus tells them to Calypso to
Yes.
help him remember.
Yes, that
I
was
thought that was
really-
genius.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved that.
I really enjoyed that. And speaking of the editing, I thought of something else that I wanted to talk to y'all about if y'all knew about the sailing scene with the sirens, about how they filmed that.
I
That
don't
they
know.
actually had, so the actor,
Educate me.
let me pull this up. Will Yoon Lee, y'all probably know him because he's in a lot of other stuff and I can't remember right now. That he actually had to jump into that water multiple times
Oh, to go.
and he had to actually swim to those rocks, and the people playing sirens had to be like extra professionals because it was actually that dangerous to get onto those rocks and stay there and then get off.
Wow.
And that they had to circle hours and hours in open water to film that because they had to do so many close-ups and they had to get the machines, I don't know, girl, to rip the people off of the boat. Like they had to actually rip them off, place them back, rip off, place them back. Like they were doing all that, and that guy had to jump in and get back in the boat, dry off, get back. And that whole time they were filming all this, Matt Damon was in fact he didn't leave the post that time.
Wow.
For the hours they were filming, he didn't leave the post. He was just like the whole time so that it looked like, so that everything was cohesive.
So no wonder his acting in that
No, he
scene
was
was so
going
good.
insane.
He was
going
feeling
insane.
he was feeling all the
Yeah.
emotions
Yeah.
of being insanity.
Yeah, so that was really cool because I was like, how the heck, like, did they, like, those are people on the rocks, like, I was like, what? And so I was like, he really jumped into that water and swam. Again,
I love that scene. That
Yeah.
siren song will just stay in my mind forever.
Yeah.
It worked.
I love the way it just
Yeah.
it like they used old timey instruments for I
Yes.
forgot what the name of the instrument was
Yes,
for
yeah.
it, but they used it and that's why it sounds like it was from back then.
Yes,
But-
that scene was
If you see Ruby walk off the podcast right now, it's because the siren song's calling
Yeah.
to her.
No, exactly.
I'll gladly go.
Oh God.
And then just reshoot it over and over
No,
again.
yeah. But yeah, that scene was really cool. His acting was phenomenal. Like, I felt like discomfort for him because I'm like, oh my God, like, and he's just to a post.
Yeah.
To a
Yeah.
post. And you see how easy it was for that guy once as he heard just a little bit and he was in that water. He was gone.
And he chose to. He was like, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Takes
And I'm
out
like,
the wax.
did you not look maybe at the man literally
That's
crying,
going-
dying
yeah,
on this
thriving.
post behind you? Like, what are you doing?
To be fair, he probably had a good death, though, because he's like, men are being killed left and right. We could either go in a whirlpool. We might get eaten by a monster
He
that we
wasn't
don't know
gonna
about
survive
yet.
anyways.
And it was like, I'm going to live the dream and spend my life being killed and
Good
eaten
choice.
by beautiful women serenading me with their song. And honestly,
Work.
could you ask for anything else? You know?
Honestly, girl boss gatekeep. Gaslight girl boss gatekeep.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's basically the summary of the movie, just by men.
Just, pretty much. This is fun. So getting towards the end of the film, we really see like the emotional like pieces just kind of start to come together. What with Tom Holland's such a little cutie, by the way. It's so it's so hard to be like you
To
can't
not
be
side with him.
He's a good little prince, you know.
He can never play an evil character.
He's such a little cutie, but he plays the role of just like
Odysseus.
son wanting to grow up to be the man that he expects himself to be, the father he never knew, wanting
And
to fill
he's
those
just getting
steps.
bullied by Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson plays such a good
I
villain.
I
Yeah.
loved him. I loved his character.
Yeah.
Get these beggars out of here.
Plate liquor. My goodness.
In an interview I was watching with, it was like a lot of the cast, but Tom Holland got asked a question about like, oh, like you reference my Edward Cullen, because I can't say his name properly, as your safety blanket. And he talked about how he was super nervous going into film, Tom Holland was. But when he realized that Robert Pattinson was playing the guy that's supposed to riff with, he was like, I wasn't nervous anymore because he plays he's so bratty. Like, he's so good at being such a brat that he was like, oh, as long as he's good at being a brat, like, I can feed off of that. And I was like, that's so valid. That's so valid because he did a great job at me wanting to go.
My favorite Gen Zer.
No. Oh my God. That's so I was just playing that. But also the scene that made me laugh was towards the end, obviously when everyone's getting murdered by Odysseus and his crazy arrow skills. When he was just like, grab it from the floor. It's right there. It's right there. And he's just hiding behind a pillar. And I'm like, what are you doing?
He's like, ew, no. Y'all do something.
They brought out all the steps so you can hate this guy.
Yeah.
And I love
They
it.
really did, especially with Argos, the poor dog.
Oh god.
Oh my God.
I cried. That scene
Dude,
made me
no,
cry
yes.
so much.
That
He
was-
waited 20 years.
And they're kicking this poor dog. And
I
they're
know.
like-
When I realized that they were kicking the dog and that he was just laying there, and then they had the audacity to just place him outside, and I realized that the dog was there that entire time, just laying there.
It's so funny because real quick side note, someone was talking to me about the new Evil Dead movie and was talking about how there's a dog in it who gets mistreated in the beginning, but then gets his revenge in the end, like comes back from the dead and kills everyone or something like
Wait,
that.
he dies?
So no, something like that happens. But someone told me that, and I don't know why. When I was watching the Odyssey, I was thinking that was gonna happen in the Odyssey. I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna kill this dog and he's gonna come back from the dead and like get his revenge on everyone.
Well,
But I'm glad it just he got to see Odysseus and it ended that way.
It's okay because when Antinous shows up in Hades, Cerberus is just tearing him to shreds and everyone else. So
And who said it when? Oh, it was Odysseus when he was telling Robert Pattinson, and make sure you tell my men that I'm gonna sail west for them.
especially because of Sinan when he was like,
when he was, what did he say? Something about your shame, or make sure that your shame. I don't know. It was a
I
good
gave you
line.
back your shame.
Yes.
Yeah, let him know I gave you back your shame. Oh, yeah, I liked all those small touches. Well, the dog part where Tom Holland, guys, I can't. Tom Holland.
Telemachus?
Yes. That's when he realizes, like, oh, you're my dad, because the dog's reaction. Yes. I'm like, you've been walking around with this man. He's your father. But that, and then the use of that little peg thing where they, like, that's how they picked if you were going with him or not. And him, like, giving it to Robert.
Yes.
I was like, ooh. I loved that. I liked that being how he slyly told him, like, yeah, it's me.
A big F you.
back.
And you better run. Yeah, you better run.
That Emma
Thought
Emma
you saw
Robert,
the last of me.
surprise. But the scene, like the bow scene,
Oh, dude,
so good.
The
As soon as he plugged and
yes,
Penelope was like,
that
lock the doors,
Yeah.
get out,
that
except you.
tone, whatever tone they use.
Yes.
They did so many different plucks to make sure they hit that right one.
Yeah.
That'll stay with everyone forever.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that was...
Beautifully done.
See, I liked those little parts where it was like these little things that only a little bit of people knew about that let you know what was going to happen or like... I liked the use of that where you showed it in the beginning and then it came to be like the end part. And I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. Like these flashbacks actually were purposeful.
Again, it ties all together. It just
Yes.
circles back.
Yeah.
Just like them around the island when they're doing the reshoots
said,
over
"Jump
and
back in."
over.
Jump back in.
And then the end, it was funny when he's like, I just want to see it like one last time. She's like, you're dying? He's like, no.
Dude, yes. I'm so glad he didn't die.
So
I was like,
funny. He's got like 2 arrows in him, a spear. He's been stabbed. And it's like, I'm going to die, please. These guys, you think they're going to kill me?
Yeah.
Nah, we're leaving.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked that. But I was like, we did all this and you finally come back and you're going to die. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, really? Like, come on. Like, no.
Which is funny because in a way you could think like maybe one of the gods is looking after him at the end of the day. Because
Yeah.
in the story, Athena is definitely like, playing a big role in his voyages and stuff.
Yeah.
And in this movie, again, we mentioned like she's a hallucination. We don't know if, how much influence she's actually having on these actions.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking like he must have had someone. I mean, also
he had
Odysseus,
someone
he
looking
is,
out
like-
for him. I mean, when he leaves Calypso's island and he's just on the raft, just
Oh, yeah.
he's like, I'm whatever's happening to
Right,
me,
because
it's
they were
gonna
like,
happen.
give yourself over to Poseidon,
Yeah.
give up control, and then sure enough, like,
Yeah.
oh,
They took care of him.
Yeah, I'm like, you're telling me you didn't drown when the shot they leave off before he's like washed up on, it's just your face completely covered in ocean water and you're just breathing? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
it's like, okay, work.
I was like, oh. And then he just washes up on like a little piece of wood. Like, I was like,
I'm here.
I'm like, oh. But yeah, that was interesting.
We didn't get to touch on it, but also John Leguizamo.
Dude,
real
I
quick.
know. He was so good. I love John Leguizamo.
Another thing. Did y'all know? I feel so annoying.
That
No,
he
I love
aged
it.
himself for this movie.
That the contacts he was wearing actually made him physically blind the whole entire
Oh, that's
filming.
so cool.
Of
I
course
love
they
that.
Couldn't see the entire movie, so he said that he was just left with his thoughts a lot because when they weren't using him, he had to just kind of sit there because he couldn't do anything. He couldn't get on his phone. He had no one. He was just like,
So his acting was just taken to a whole nother level.
yeah.
Because
So he
of
said
that.
like he couldn't see stuff. So when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh. So watching this movie, like he didn't even know he was a part of most of the time because he was just kind of placed and then had to like figure it out with them. I was like, that's pretty cool. But also, guys, it's 2026. We didn't have contacts that make him look blind, but he can see through. Or was this all method acting? for
Method
him?
acting.
I definitely think method acting.
But yeah, I really enjoyed his character.
Yeah, he did so well. Again, I don't think I have a gripe with anyone's acting in this
No.
movie. Even Travis Scott as like kind
Oh,
of the
yeah.
storyteller, the muse
Yeah.
in a way. Oh my goodness, everyone.
Like it had a star-studded cast, but it was
Yeah.
a Christopher Nolan
think my
movie.
favorite,
he
my
wanted
favorite role
to.
was
He wanted to
everyone.
break out.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Charybdis was my
It was
favorite.
like who hasn't received an Oscar yet? Let me get y'all in here.
Again, I can't stress enough. Anne Hathaway better get that dang award. She better. And if they give a nod to Lupita,
Oh yeah.
great, because again, she did so well. But
Yeah.
the acting was great. Everything about this movie, I had a few little gripes, but that's it. So that's the film from us. What would y'all rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say easily like an 8.5 out of 10. I'm excited to watch more of his movies and kind of place it based on like how I feel about his other stuff and like what those make me feel. But I really enjoyed it, especially coming from a perspective of I don't really know anything about Greek mythology. I hadn't read the books or like learned about it in school or anything, so it felt new to me, which is really cool given that it's thousands of years old, but it's new to people even now. So I enjoyed it.
I would say 10 out of 10. It's pretty memorable. I think it's going to stick with me forever, like the miniseries Odyssey did. And like this summer, Tom Daya wrote my summer. I'm going to remember it forever. 70 millimeter reels burning out in the movie theaters.
Just getting stuck. No, I'm kidding.
It'll be pretty memorable.
Okay, so 8.5 10 out of 10. Okay, cool. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I went into this obviously being like, okay, expectations are high. It's Christopher Nolan. This better be a dang good film. And damn it if it wasn't a dang good film. My only gripe, and it's so minor, like one of the few gripes that I have is the accents. And I told you all this before we started. They're all just, their own kind of like American standard accents.
Yeah.
Well, Homer was American.
You right. Him and his donuts. I wanted donuts. But, that didn't bug me enough to completely remove me from the film. At first it's like, oh, okay, so this is what we're going with. And then after a while, you just forget it. The music, beautiful. The scenes, the cinematography, again, the editing, the acting, everything was just so dang good about this film. It was really very good. And again, it had to make little adjustments since it's a 3-hour movie adaptation of a timeless classic. So that's not going to bug me too much either. Can't be 100% book purist when it comes to something like that. So 9 out of 10. I would be down to go watch it again. Like, I really, really liked it.
It was really good.
Same.
But any final thoughts? Anything y'all want to bring up before we end this episode right here?
I think we pretty much talked about everyone we possibly could have.
I think so.
I sure hope so.
We didn't talk about Matt Damon. I'm just kidding.
We kind of did it.
No, well,
We talked about his exploits and his adventures, but we didn't talk about Odysseus himself, who's very flawed considering he's,
and he learned his
brilliant.
lesson.
He kind of did.
He better have.
At the end. And he got a shower, which is the most important thing. He got a shower at the end. We see him in his fresh clothes and outfit and everything, which is great because I'm sure Penelope was like, I love you. You've been gone 20 years. Please go use the oils and water.
Yeah. Agreed.
But anyway, so that's going to end it for us on our review / kind of movie talk about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So if you get a chance, go see it. If not, you never know. We might actually be able to acquire it through Canopy or Hoopla. So stay tuned for that to see if we actually can get that. Because it would be great to have that on our resources for our patrons to see. Because it's, again, such an incredible film.
We're going to 3D print the Trojan horse, life size.
And we're all going to pop
Fit
out
all
of
of
it one at a
BiblioTech
time.
West staff in it.
And we're going to keep it true to the film. We're going to be in there for days. No potty breaks, no baths, nothing.
Find us
Men
at
dying in
the
there.
nearest ocean near you.
We're going to be disgusting. Someone's going to have drowned in that. So tune in for that on our next Instagram Live. But with that said, thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Once again, I'm Rosanna.
I'm Ruby.
I'm Miranda.
And we'll catch you guys on our next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.